Looking at the last 5 of the season, this one was a really important win. SMU has a capability of really pushing you with their offense. And I thought obviously we held them in check fairly well. Not great, but fairly well. They can run their middles as well as anybody in the country. They kept us off balance a little bit, but we made a lot of really nice individual efforts when we got beat, either blocking one-on-one or digging. Really, you look at the digs, it was kind of a tie. I thought, blocking-wise, we asserted ourselves early. They started trying to avoid the block at the end, and that's why you saw the balls go out of bounds. They were just making sure they didn't get blocked. Our serve-receive game was really good, and I think that's really a big switch in the momentum of the match, is that our serve-receive was above average to pretty good, and I know we got them in some passing trouble sometimes. We did a great job of moving the serve all over the place, and they had a hard time covering the court. That's always going to be a big thing for us, is our serve. Offensively, they decided they were going to shut down some people, and they decided to make sure that Anne-Marie wasn't going to have another all-conference week. I respect that. But it gave McKenna a chance to go out and blow it up. They shut down Narissa and Tolly, but then Claudia steps up and hits 571. So, teams are just choosing who they want to shut down, and hopefully everybody else is on. And that's what we talked about in the locker room. I said, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who's going to get shut down, but it's going to be one of us. That means the other ones have to step up and play, and that's what we did. But, a nice 300 hitting day, 7 blocks, 8 aces. There's nothing more I could ask out of a team, especially at the end of the year. It's a team that's hungry. They see the finish line, but they know there's obstacles between where they are and the finish line. And this was one of the largest obstacles. Obviously, there's a whole bunch more obstacles coming up here, but this was the first of them. I'm glad that we got through it.
So McKenna, you said McKenna Melba went and blew it up. She got yet another double and her 500th kill on the season. So considering that several of your other players were shut down, how important was it to have McKenna out there today?
Yeah, we put McKenna on Rachel Wolf. The deal was we had to keep Rachel Wolf in check for them. So we put McKenna on her because McKenna's our most versatile left side blocker, and she held Wolf to 118. Just 8 kills, 6 errors. That was a pretty good job. We figured we were going to be giving up McKenna's offense though by doing that, and McKenna found a way to create and make her own shot. And that's what a great player does, is they find a way to create and make their own shot. So to see her go off like that is a very pleasant surprise, because we basically sacrificed her offense, in our initial game plan to allow everybody else to shine and make sure that she took care of Wolf.
And Coach Amber Olsen, 36 assists today. You called her, I believe, your quarterback of your team. But when do you see her from there today?
She's just doing a great job of reading. Just like every football defense tips their defense, every volleyball defense gives you a little bit of a tip. Most often it's as the ball peaks on a pass and it's on its way down, they'll give you a little tip, and she's doing a great job of reading right at that moment where the ball is at the apex. Reads and then makes her decision on what she's going to do, and more often than not, she's making the right decision, putting the ball in the right spot, and hitters are taking care of it.
So you talked about how it was important to step up whenever somebody is shut down. Obviously, with McKenna Melba having as many double-doubles as she had all season, she's been able to really, excel on both ends, both offensively and defensively. Is that something you try to do with everyone on the team?
We just want everybody to play within their comfort zone. We don't want to try to push anybody too far out. Narissa has historically been our top blocker. That's not really Claudia's specialty, but today Claudia got 4. just by reading the right things, and them being out of system allowed Claudia to trap block a little bit more. Marissa had a little bit harder of an assignment, but she still got a set. But each player is special in that they bring something different to the team. We try to highlight that until a team tries to take away. And then, somebody else has to step up and fill the gaps. Not with McKenna's numbers, but 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here adds up. And that's what we try to do, is we try to fill it by committee, not necessarily by individual.
And Coach, at the end of the second set and the third set, SMU is really starting to show some life. What do you guys do to weather that storm?
Yeah, no, it's, they're not going to quit. They're SMU. I mean, they've, Wichita, us, and them are the 3 teams that have won this conference. And so they're not going to roll over. They have too much pride. It's too good of a school, too well coached. We just talked about going really back to basics. Start with a pass, run our offense, eye sequence, get a good outside block, and then play defense in transition. It's really the simple part of volleyball. We try to just get back to that, and it worked out well for us.
You mentioned that Melville was assigned a Wolf for SMU. What kind of challenges does she pose along with the rest of the SMU team? And how would you say that your performance against them improved from the last time you played them out in Dallas?
There's no doubt that it did. I think we're a much more calm and confident team, especially in serve receive, than we were when we were there. As far as the matchup goes, it's a challenge because their middles are so fast that we've got to set in tempo, and we've got to hit that ball before the middle gets there, because Wolf takes up half the court herself, and if the middle gets there, another quarter of the court is taken up, and you don't have a lot of room to hit in. And McKenna had some errors down the line and out of bounds. That's because the block was so damn big. That's going to happen. So it was going to be an interesting matchup. It was going to be really interesting to see how that played out. And I think McKenna definitely got the better end of it, both offensively and defensively.
And Coach, you guys had a pretty good showing from the crowd today. How does your team, feed off of their energy?
There's a direct correlation to the energy level in the building and the play of our team. And that's why it's frustrating when we're going up against football head-to-head or basketball head-to-head, or there's something going on in the arena, because we miss that energy. We need that energy. We want the band here every game possible. Mm-hmm. Of course, they have responsibilities with the football team. So energy inside a building this size versus a building like the arena. Everywhere else we play in arenas. We have our own place here. 500 people in this place is crazy. 500 people at Wichita State would be dead. And so the energy that the fans bring is immediately absorbed by our team and put on the floor on display. We want to make our fans, and we seek their approval. That's how they play. They want their fans to cheer for them, to admire them, to respect them. And absolutely, it's a direct correlation.
Didn't really have, I don't know how well you can go volleyball against travel, but back in Cincinnati last week, you guys fell behind 2-0. How would you say, did you say, what flipped the switch really between sets 2 and 3?
It wasn't a flip. It wasn't a flip. I mean, a lot of people think there has to be a big major change. Sometimes it's going simpler, and that one was as simple as, okay, we dropped the first 2 sets. That wasn't very good, but if we can just go back and execute, and all we have to do is just win one game. Go out, execute, win one game. We did that. All right, now let's execute and win another game. We did 15 and then 13. Now you get it to the game 5 and you get it to a shutout. Now you're trying to shut them out in that 1 game to 15. And that's exactly what happened. Is we were just better in that last game than they were. But you try to get it into a shootout at the end. When you're down 2-0, just get to the end and then play that one out.
You said after the match against Houston that one of the reasons you lost that match was because the team was was playing not to lose instead of playing to win. Did you see that in Cincinnati, or even if you did, how have they improved on that?
No, Cincinnati doesn't do that. They're tough, they're champions, they fight. There's a lot of fighting teams in this conference. And especially when they're not playing well, sometimes that's when they're most dangerous. I thought when we played way back, it seems like forever ago now, when we played Houston, we were trying to protect ourselves and didn't really throw it out there on the line. Since then, I haven't detected that one bit since the end of that match. I think the box scores and the stats and the numbers, the attitude show it. We're not blinking. We'll get into a tussle. We're not afraid of that. It's not like we expect to win, but we expect to compete. And if we compete, we have a shot at winning. And I love that attitude that the team has taken on.
And Moravich had her 500th record block today, a career block. How important is she to your team?
It was 500 blocks?
Yeah, I think career blocks, yeah.
So she had 500 blocks today?
No, not today.
500.
Oh, 500 in her career.
Yeah.
She just reached 500.
And 500 kills in the season?
No, McKenna Melville got 500 career kills this season, and then Moravich got her 500.
Oh, Moravich. I thought you said McKenna.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm just, because I don't follow this stuff like you guys do. I really don't give a crap. I mean, let me take that in for a second. McKenna has a chance at going down, and we've had some major players go through this program. You look back and Tyra and Renata, and I mean you look back and there's been some national team players come through this program, and in this era, in this generation, that's what McKenna is for us. I mean, there's a chance that she walks out the best player in the history of the program, most successful player in the history of the program. But she's got her attitude right. It's, what can I do right now? How can I help my team right now? And I bet you if you told her that, she'd have no clue that however many kills she has, she doesn't keep track of that stuff. Now, I get really excited when you tell me that Moravich got, her 500, because she's not one that's always getting set a lot, because we're so dominant in other areas of the court. But she goes out there day in and day out and says, how can I help this team? I am a great blocker. I am one of the nation's top blockers. That's how I can help this team. So to know that she went out and she got 500 today, that's awesome, because that's what she does for this team better than anything else, is that she is such a solid blocker. And we build our blocking assignments around her. So to hear that, I'm so proud of her, because sometimes she sacrifices on the offensive end so that the outsides can have the glory. But I'm glad, that's really cool that she got 500. That's rare air right there.
Moravich is actually now the third player of all time to reach 500 career blocks, alongside Tyra Harper and her teammate Anne-Marie Watson, and of course she's third behind those two. What does it feel like to have two of the three players in UCF volleyball history to have a career most career blocks on the same team?
I honestly haven't thought about that. We're so busy looking forward. What's next? I'm already thinking about USF. We got a short week. We got to play USF. But those are things I love to sit back and take a look at when the season's over. We've been lucky. We've had some pretty good blockers. Brian and Jenny and program has trained some pretty good blockers over the last few years, and I'm just really happy that Moravich got there. That means so much that she was able to contribute in a historical way like that.
Looking at McKenna again, she's of course in the top 10 in both kills and digs, an honor that a note that she shares with Kia Bright, who I'm sure you are familiar with, and Erin Campbell and Miriam Metzges. So because you talked about McKenna as one of the all-time greats. So what are the kinds of traits that you see in McKenna that maybe you saw in Kia or any of the players?
Kia was a fierce competitor. I mean, fierce, intense. McKenna's the same way. McKenna sometimes, you want to give feedback, and then you kind of look at it and you say, yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit. She's such a fierce competitor, and she wears it right out there on her face and her sleeve, and everybody knows what she's thinking. She passes, she plays defense, she blocks, she obviously attacks. She's our leading ace. If I'm not mistaken, she's our leading in aces. So, that's a 6-tool player. We haven't had very many of those, since I've been around. So, having her on the team for the program's sake has been, wonderful, because she's that one that if she struggles offensively, she's going to play defense and serve and block. If she's struggling with her serving, she's going to get you 15, 18 kills and 20 digs or something. She's going to find a way to make the team better, even if she's not on some part of her game.
And she has another year of eligibility remaining, I believe. Did she talk to you a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're not even talking about that stuff right now. It's 1 year at a time. And right now, it's a great question, because she, Amber, Kat, Holly, they all have a year left. The only ones that we know are graduating are going to be Narissa and Anne-Marie, 2 huge losses. But everybody else, there's things up in the air. Right now, we've got a mission to complete, and we're in the middle of that mission. And we'll see what everybody's going to do or does at the end of the season.
One thing I noticed in this match was Caitlin Grimes taking up the libero position, which she and Chloe Shear kind of going back. So with Chloe Shear listed on the roster as just a libero, what was kind of Chloe's role today, and how would you evaluate Grimes's play as libero tonight?
We put Grimes in at libero last week on the road, and it was just wanted to put her in there and see how she would do, and she did really, really well. So we thought, let's give her a shot against SMU and see how it goes. And I thought she did really well. Not just with the passing, but with the defense, the acrobatic defense that she plays. Keeping balls alive, out of system setting, just all the things that fans know nothing about. She does it really well, and Chloe does too. So that's a great treat for us to have 2 bona fide liberos, both of which are young, freshman and sophomore. So we're in a good spot there, knowing that we have 2 liberos. Who am I going to go with next week? I don't know. We'll kind of see how practice looks this week. But it's nice to know that, Chloe has played 20 matches at libero, and Caitlin now has 4, and they've both done a great job at the role.
You talked about how the only ones that are graduating are Anne-Marie and Narissa, which of course, them being 2 of the top 3 total blockers of all time is certainly a loss to be sure. So looking at the players you have now, who are you looking at that could end up maybe not getting the same statistically, but fulfilling that role?
Well, I think that we can fill in statistically. I think the first player you look at is Mackenzie Chambers. Mackenzie could very well be on the court, except for the system that we're running. It's designed to get us better passing options. So we're running more DSs, so we can't run a 6-2. And in the 6-2, Mackenzie and Emily Lawrence go in, but because we're using all of our substitutions with the DSs to get better passing, we don't have that luxury. I would expect that Mackenzie's going to be able to jump in Anne-Marie's role. Or Mackenzie might jump into a left side role, and Heidi, at 6'5", she'd make a pretty, and with a great arm swing, she'd make a pretty natural right side shutdown blocker on somebody's left side hitter. So I think we've got options. Plus, we're not done recruiting. We're never done recruiting. We're always looking to make our roster better. It's not too early to start planning for our future. Because in 2 years, things are going to get a heck of a lot tougher. And we can't just jump into it as rookies. We want to be that level team a year before we jump in. So, you're gonna see some movement. We have to get better as a team now. We have 4 matches to do that, but we've got to get better as a program heading forward.
So you talk about how you're already thinking about USF. What is something that you saw in the team in their matchup in Tampa that you're looking to improve as they come here to Orlando, and
Yeah.
what's some of the challenges that the Bulls could pose?
You please forgive me for saying this, but I don't remember playing them. It's in our business, if you don't have a short memory, you don't sleep, you don't eat, you know, you worry about things that keep you up at night. And so, I mean, that's it. When I get done with you guys, this match is over. And we're gonna go up and start on USF. Now, what are some of the, you know, innate things that you worry about? It's a rivalry game. Rivalry games are always trap games. And they're athletic, they can bounce balls. You know, fortunately we get them at home this time. And yeah, I know they've struggled and I know what their record says, but throw the damn record out, it doesn't matter. Because I've seen bigger upsets in leagues. And so just throw out the stats, throw out the records. It's a rivalry game, it's, you know, War and I-4 game. They can make their entire season by knocking us, you know, off. And so it's our job to make sure to find out what are the ways they can do that and make sure that doesn't happen.
What are you looking to see out of this team as you enter into your Final Four matches?
I'm looking for them to have a good practice on Monday. Beyond that, come interview me and we'll talk about Tuesday.
And at this point, Coach, in regards to the NCAA tournament, what is your outlook on that? Do you guys think you're a lock at this point?
No, I don't think anybody's a lock. I think it's you look at the RPI numbers and it goes to the 1,000th of a point, and there's 6 or 7 teams separated by 10,000ths of a point. You know, you can never take anything for granted. So we know that's out there, that's a goal. Right now our goal is just to next match, you know, and for some reason I've learned coaching that if you just take care of what's next, that other stuff figures its way out. You know, what's the best way to go to the tournament? Win your conference. How do we win the conference? We got to beat USF. We got to beat SMU today. We got to beat USF next. And I think we're just going to keep our focus, that micro focus. You start thinking too big or what might could be, and things fall apart. So we're absolutely reining what could be down and just focusing on what's next.